מתקשה. Professor Mitra, I think everyone knows you, but nevertheless, I would like to say that you are a very energetic, profound, and even funny human being, born in India, but it feels that actually you are a citizen of the world. In your professional or shall I say mission life, you are actually a computer scientist and an educational theorist and researcher, and actually an eternal learner, a person who walks the talk. I heard you saying lately that you taught yourself to make a digital application.
Yes.
Professor Mitra is best known for the hole in the wall experiment and widely cited in works on literacy and education. And he is a chief scientist emeritus at the for-profit training company National Institute of Information Technology in India. And he won the TED Prize in 2013. For the inspirational talk, Build the School in the Cloud, which I believe most of us saw. Specifically today, Professor Mitra, we invited you following your paper, Children and the Internet, Learning in the Times to Come. And after a call we did with you a few months ago, that we wrote a practice in Hebrew and uploaded it in the ministry's website, suggesting unique and innovative practices, like the one we were experiencing in the last half hour. It is an honor and pleasure for us to have you here. The school directors and educational teams would like to hear from you your perception about this time. Please, we have like 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. And it's a pleasure to speak in Israel. And I really mean it because, you know, you're one of those countries which I think like to think. You like to think, you like thinking. And you know, that's not very common in the rest of the world. There are countries which say, oh, it's very important to do things all the time. It's very important. But the few times that I have been to Israel, I found that if you stop them and say, wait, let's think. And everybody says, okay. So I believe that your students, you have been in, in escape rooms. They're called, I believe, escape rooms, and you have been trying to solve a problem of some sort, to which I was just told, I am the solution. So I must tell you that, you know, all my life, I have always been called a problem. So I'm very happy to be called a solution. So I don't know what problem you were solving and how you got to me. But in the time that we have, I want to tell you, I want to leave you with just one idea, just one. You know why? Because in 20 minutes, if I told you 20 different things, then you go back saying, oh, okay, he said so many things, so what do I do next? So I want to leave you with one idea. And particularly because there are people from the government, from the ministry. I mean, I am really honored that that has happened. It doesn't happen very commonly with me. So I would like the people in the government to listen to just this one idea. So without wasting time, let's just get on to what that idea is. The idea is about assessment. You know, in education, whether we have schools or we have universities or we have anything, we do all sorts of things with the students. We have activities, we have lectures, there are things that you understand, things that you discuss. And finally, in the end, the university, the government, your parents, everybody wants to know one thing. Did you understand? Did you learn? That's the most important thing, because if after spending all those years in the university, you didn't learn, then what was the point? So the answer to that question, did you learn, has given rise to the system of assessment. And as we all know, the system of assessment is usually consists of an examination. You know, an examination of some kind. So how do you examine someone? Well, if you have been learning, let's say you have been learning how to cook, and you've been learning how to cook for 1 year, and I am the examiner. And I have to find out if you have really learned how to cook. Now, there's not much point in my saying to you, sitting across the table, saying to you, do you know how to fry an egg? And you say, yes, sir, I know. So what? Instead, it would be a lot better if I took you into a kitchen and I gave you an egg and I said, can you fry this for me? And then I can assess whether all that time you spent in your cooking class was useful or not, or whatever. So that is the system of examination. Unfortunately, over the years, that system has become, how shall I put it? That system has become a little rigid. You know, it's rigid. It's like this, that if you are learning a subject, like, let's say social science, psychology, or something like that, then the examination is all about how much you remember of whatever you learned. How much you remember. So people might say, okay, what are the main theories of psychoanalysis? And you're supposed to say theory A, theory B, theory C, and then you get a mark. So naturally, when I give you such an examination, they don't let you use any assistance. You can't talk to your friend. If you are given an examination question paper, you can't say, sir, can I just ask my best friend because I don't remember the answer? It's not allowed. You can't say that. Okay. You can't say, sir, can I just look it up with my smartphone? And I say, no, you can't do that, etc. So why is this like this? Why is it that you are not allowed to do all the things that you are allowed to do in real life, which is talk to your friends, telephone somebody, look up the phone? Why is it that all this is not allowed during an examination? And I think the answer lies in the 19th century. You know, in the age of empires, when everybody was fighting with everybody all the time. Okay. So in that world, you were being prepared for an eventuality where you are alone, you have a problem, you don't have telephones because they have not been invented, you don't have the internet because it has not been invented, you cannot talk to your friends, and you must survive. So they invented a system. They said, well, your examination must pretend that you are in that sort of situation. You are in a situation of desperation, that you must solve the problem using only your head and nothing else. But you know, that world is gone. That world doesn't exist anymore. So why do we still have the old exam system? This is the question that I'm working on right now. Okay. But while working on this question, I ran into another question, which is even more interesting. Let's suppose that you are answering a question on geography, a question paper, and it is 2 hours time, and you're given the question paper, and you're given 2 hours, pencil and paper, don't look right, you don't look left. Hey, can you switch your phone off? Yeah, okay. So you are sitting and you are giving an examination. The examination is on geography. You've got 2 hours of time, and you've got a question paper. So you sit there, you've got pencil and paper, you have to read the questions, you have to think of what you learned in college, in school, and you answer. This is the process. You're not you're not supposed to talk to anybody, you're not supposed to look up anything. Nothing of the sort is allowed. So I thought of a question. I thought, okay, what will happen if I said, never mind, you can use the internet, you can use the smartphone. And everybody said, well, that will spoil the exam because everybody will be cheating. So I thought, yeah. So with the traditional examination, if you give children if you give the examinees their phone, then it won't work. Until I realized that this assumption may not be right. Now you think about this. I have given you a geography question paper. You have got 2 hours to answer it. And to 10 students, I have said, don't use the internet. And to 10 students, I have said, go ahead, use the internet. Are we absolutely sure that the 10 students who are using the internet will do better than the 10 students who are not allowed to use the internet? Are we absolutely sure?
No, we are not.
So there you go. So that breaks the basis of the entire system. When I asked some teacher friends this question, and one of them jokingly said, you know, Sugata, the good students will always do better, whether you give them the internet or you don't give them the internet, because they're good thinkers. And I thought to myself, I'm going to talk to the Israelis. I'm going to tell them this. I'm going to tell them, it doesn't matter what you have during the exam. You will do well if you think properly. Having said that, then I thought, well, can we test this hypothesis? Can we test this hypothesis that giving the internet actually doesn't make any difference? Immediately I could figure out it depends on the question paper itself.
Right.
You know, if the questions are very simple, very silly, then the internet will make a big difference. So for example, if the question was, how far is Jerusalem from Calcutta, India? And if I let you use the internet, 30 seconds,
yeah,
just type it in, you get it. But there is something interesting. Everybody will get it. Or will they? I don't know. We don't know until we do this experiment. We don't know if everybody will type the right question into the right, into the right bot, into the right question machine. We don't know if everybody will be able to look at which of the answers to take, the first one, second one, the third one. We don't know if they will be able to figure out which answer is right and which answer is not right. So maybe if you gave 100 children even this simple question, how far is Jerusalem from Calcutta, and gave them their phones, maybe even then everybody will not get the same score. We don't know. We have to do this experiment to find out.
By the way, yes, Professor Mitre, one of the directors said that it's 5,340 kilometers.
Okay, good. Because that's an important number, because I'm going to tell you something else now. So firstly, as my colleague has just shown you 5,340, it took a few seconds to find out the answer if you are allowed to use the internet. But suppose that was not the question in the exam paper, because I think that was a very stupid question. There's no point asking that. Are you supposed to know it inside your head? Of course not. You are supposed to look it up. In the days before the internet, if I had asked you this question, you would have had to say, wait a minute, please, I need to go and find a map. And then you would have said, I need to find a meter scale. I'm going to put the meter scale on the map, and then I'm going to measure. And then I could say, but you're just measuring the straight line distance. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to know the real distance between the two cities. And then you would say, wait. I have to go back to the library and I have to find a book. It will take you a week before the internet. Now, while I'm talking, my colleague tells me the number. This is the distance, okay? So that's fine. So the question was not okay. So if we have to allow the internet during exams, then we must change the nature of the questions. So let me change the nature of this question. Okay, so it's 5,300 and whatever kilometers from Jerusalem to Calcutta. Is it possible to walk from Jerusalem to Calcutta? Is there a land route? Once again, if I give you this question, it will take you only a few seconds. If you've got Google Maps or whatever it is, you'll just tell me, yes, there is at least there is land in between. You don't have to cross any oceans. You might have to cross a river or something, a few rivers. But yes, there is a land route. And then if I ask you, I will give you 1 hour's time. Tell me the best walking land route from Jerusalem to Calcutta. Now, it's not so easy. Now you're not going to come back to me in 2 seconds and say, here, I've got the answer. Because you'll have to find the roads. You'll have to find the countries that you're crossing. You'll have to find the weather conditions, the political situation. How is it possible to walk? Are there places to stay? Are they dangerous? If there are mountains, what kind of equipment should you be carrying? And then maybe after 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, with the internet, it's going to take you 48 hours to answer that question.
Right.
That is the new assessment that we should have. That will tell us who are the 21st century learners and who are not.
Right.
Okay. It's the teacher's job to figure out these new methods of questioning. Questions such that the internet is only of very limited use if you know how to use it. So I'll just end at this point what I'm trying to say by saying that there are 3 things that are needed to answer this kind of question. First, you should be able to comprehend what you are seeing on the screen. You know, it's not enough to just get lots of things on the screen. You must comprehend what you're looking at. Comprehension. You need to have comprehension. Secondly, you have to tell me what you have understood. Otherwise, what's the point? If you have understood, but you can't tell me. So you need to have communication, the ability to communicate your comprehension. And thirdly, which is very simple, you need to know how to use the device properly.
Right.
Which search engine, how much speed, wrong information, right information, fake news. You need to know all of that. So I get three things: comprehension, communication, computing. If I could measure those three things for anybody, I don't really need to know very much more. Can you imagine this world we are living in? We just need to know three things to be able to say, she's all right, she'll be fine. Give her a good phone and give her a good connection. Okay? I know this is, people in education are not very happy to hear this, because they say, well, just three things. I mean, you're doing a geography examination, you're not asking them any questions about geography. I said, yes, I am asking them about geography. I'm saying, how will you walk from Jerusalem to Calcutta? You have to know a lot of geography in order to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not asking you a specific boring question. Right. So this is the nature of our new assessment: comprehension, communication, and computing. I'm working on that. And while I'm working on that, I'm working on the intermediate step, that even for traditional examinations, does it really make any difference if the internet is available or not? How much difference? Can we measure that? Because if we can measure that, then during this COVID pandemic, we have solved one huge problem.
Yeah.
We can examine over the internet. We can send a question paper to students and we can say, go ahead, use whatever you want. Just give me the answer back in 2 hours. Okay. By controlling the time, you can control the score. So that's it. I hope I haven't spoken too much. And if there are time for...
It was brilliant, Professor Mitre, and we thank you very much. And I'm sure this group of people here, who are called the generators of innovation, are actually the right group to take this up. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll keep in touch, yes?
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye.